From his bad comb-over hairstyle to his brutal honesty, controversial opinions and sizzling glare, Donald Trump is one of the most famous politicians and billionaires in the world today. Announcing his campaign for presidency in the 2016 election after years of teasing about a future run, Trump has gained incredible steam in the polls in what looks like a real shot at moving into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue as the next president of the United States. Long established as household name in both the business and real estate industries, Trump made a name for himself in the early 1980s after taking over his father's prestigious real estate firm, Elizabeth Trump & Son. Eventually renaming it the Trump Organization, Trump transformed his father's business into an incredible empire made up of casinos, golf courses, luxury hotels, neighborhoods and dozens of other properties that proudly bear the Trump name. Now worth anywhere from $5 billion to $10 billion, according to Trump himself. We couldn't help but wonder how Trump likes to spend his fortune. With his name and face on just about everything imaginable, the New York City billionaire enjoys the perks of sports cars and private jets, television shows, penthouses and more. Are you curious about how wealthy this presidential hopeful actually is? Take a look at 28 photos that truly show off Donald Trump's ridiculous wealth. Whether or not he ever had motorcycle mania, Donald Trump has more than enough money to buy whatever motorcycle he wants in every color, make and model. In 2012, he did exactly that when he called on the incredibly talented motorcycle designers at Orange County Choppers to build a custom bike. Delivered in person by Paul Teutul Sr. himself, Teutul was thrilled to do something for Trump after his successful stint on Trump's reality show, The Celebrity Apprentice. Loving gold even more than cash, Trump was thrilled with Orange County's design since the bike was covered from fender to fender in gold, and was one of the most expensive choppers Teutul had ever designed. Only making Trump even happier and prouder that his bike was unique and 100% American-made. The jury is still out as to whether or not Trump ever cruises around on the 24-karat gold chopper. Why? Because wearing a helmet might mess up his famously bad head of hair. Spending thousands of dollars on suits and hundreds on ties, a billionaire like Donald Trump can't walk around wearing just any old jewelry. Obviously preferring the finer things in life, Trump has been a huge fan of Z watches for quite some time now, and even invited the company to sponsor the 2009 Celebrity Apprentice live finale. Since Trump walks around wearing these $1,000 and up watches, Z watches didn't bat an eye when it came to forking over some cash to one of their best customers. Taking a look at the Z website, Trump is listed as one of dozens of famous brand ambassadors among the likes of Samuel L. Jackson, Tony Bennett and Joan Rivers. Their most expensive watch is valued at $97,000 and is one of many in mass production, but that, of course, wasn't enough for Trump, who had his watch custom made. With enough money to have someone wear the watch and tell time for him, we can't imagine how much he spent on the luxurious timepiece. Money doesn't buy friends, or does it? Spending the majority of his life climbing the ranks as a millionaire and then billionaire, Trump has made some incredibly important and influential friends along the way. So who is among his nearest and dearest? If you're a music fan, Trump is close friends with Usher, or, if football is your thing, he has that covered too. New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady is in Trump's good graces, especially after sticking his neck out by endorsing his pal's 2016 presidential campaign. Among Trump's other influential friends are journalists and television personalities like Barbara Walters, Kelly Ripa and Martha Stewart, as well as dozens of others. And, in the true nature of friendship, even though some of his more liberal-minded friends disagree with his political views, they still like Trump for the man he is. Is it because of his incredible wealth, lavish lifestyle and influence, or his sense of humor and brutal honesty? Whatever the case, it's nice to know that Trump has a few BFFs to kick back and relax with at the end of the day. One of Trump's numerous business ventures in New York City over the years includes the iconic Coleman Rink in Central Park. First opened in 1949 and donated by Kate Woolman to honor her family's legacy, the rink became a well-known venue for concerts, festivals and gatherings year-round. By 1980, however, the rink was closed for 2 years due to proposed renovations, but 6 years and $13 million later, the rink remained in disrepair when Trump finally took action and convinced Mayor Ed Koch to let him finish the work for $2.5 million. Doing exactly that and paying for the renovations himself, Trump completed the project in 4 months and took over ownership shortly after renaming it the Trump Skating Rink. Though the Trump Organization operated the rink from 1987 to 1991, it has been jointly run by Trump and Rink Management Services out of Virginia since 2001. With his name prominently displayed on the rink's walls, Trump even secured a spot on the Zamboni, so everyone would know the man responsible for rejuvenating one of New York's iconic attractions. Speaking of New York City real estate, it seems like Donald Trump has taken a huge bite out of the Big Apple and now owns most of the city. Among his many real estate investments, Trump purchased the former Bank of Manhattan Trust building at 40 Wall Street in 1995 with the intent to convert the upper half to residential space. Originally built in 1930 and becoming one of the tallest buildings in the world at 840 feet, the cost of converting the building proved to be too expensive and left Trump with little choice but to try and sell. Allegedly only paying $10 million for the declining property, Trump expected the bidding to start at $300 million, but never received an offer he couldn't refuse. Instead, Trump renamed the 70-story skyscraper as the Trump Building and poured $35 million into it for renovations to attract new tenants, eventually mortgaging the building for $160 million to pursue other investment properties. Trump has seen moderate success with the investment as tenants continue to fill the spaces without questioning the rising rent prices under the Trump name. Leaving the realm of skyscrapers and skating rinks, Donald Trump has plenty of private estates in his real estate portfolio as well. One of the most impressive homes in Trump's arsenal is his Bedford, New York mansion that was once known as Seven Springs. Built in 1919 by Washington Post publisher Eugene Meyer, Trump purchased the 60-room estate in 1995 for an estimated $7.5 million with plans to turn the 230-acre property into a luxury golf course anchored by a 50,000-square-foot home transformed into a world-class clubhouse. After years of negotiations and protests with area neighbors over traffic and pollution concerns, Trump's golfing dreams were squashed, leaving Seven Springs as a weekend getaway for his family, where he taught his children how to do renovations, cut down trees and mow. By 2014, and with his children all grown and living on their own, Trump finally received approval to subdivide the now deserted family estate and transform it into a neighborhood that will feature over a dozen homes. How's that for a return on investment? How do you know when you've really made it big? When you have your own board game, of course. Parker Brothers jumped on the Trump bandwagon in 1989 when they released their latest board game titled Trump. The game featuring his picture and iconic catchphrase, "I'm back and you're fired." Reaching moderate success among Trump fans, the game was re-released nearly a decade later in 2005 in conjunction with the billionaire's debut on his reality series, The Apprentice, pitting players against one another in an epic battle for real estate supremacy. Trump. The game had nothing on Monopoly, and was undoubtedly not for the faint of heart, with instructions that read, "Remember, it takes brains to make millions, it takes Trump to make billions." Taking the competition level up a notch, players lucky enough to roll a T on the dice were able to make a Trump move that allowed them to take any property they wanted from their opponents in true Trump fashion. As if the 24-karat gold Orange County chopper wasn't enough, Donald also has an impressive car collection. Though he has dozens of high-class cars that are sure to knock anyone's socks off, there are two cars in particular that Trump especially loves, the first of which is his Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren. Released in 2003 with a supercharged V8 engine delivering 617 horsepower in one of the most impressive sports cars of the era, Trump couldn't resist the luxurious Silver Bullet, or its $455,000 price tag. Having the car delivered to the front of Trump Tower in 2005, Trump's stunning and incredibly fast McLaren tops out at a speed of 207 miles per hour, putting it in the same class as Lamborghini Diablo, which Trump already has in his growing collection. And, while you rarely ever see Trump driving around in the car, or any car for that matter, owning a supercar like the SLR McLaren is just another perk of being a billionaire businessman. Reminiscing the days of driving around in his first car, a 1956 Silver Cloud Rolls-Royce, Trump loves high-speed supercars like his McLaren and Lamborghini, but not nearly as much as he appreciates the classics like his Rolls-Royce. First purchasing a Rolls-Royce Phantom after going into business for himself, the 69-year-old Trump is known for frequently treating himself and trading in for a newer Phantom model whenever and however often the mood strikes. In production now for over 80 years and starting anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 depending on the features, the Phantom is Trump's car of choice on the rare occasions when he feels like jetting around town without a chauffeur. While we can only imagine what else he has tucked away in its many garages, why he doesn't choose to drive the Lamborghini or his Camaro pace car is truly beyond us. Dear old alma mater, known for branding everything under the sun from Zambonis and ice skating rinks to skyscrapers and small businesses, Donald Trump took his brand one step further when he set out to create Trump University LLC in 2004. Officially launched on May 23, 2005. The online education program focused on teaching students the same tricks of the trade that made Trump a billionaire through online courses and in-person seminars that covered a range of topics devoted to real estate and entrepreneurship. Formerly known as the Trump Wealth Institute and the Trump Entrepreneur Initiative LCC, the university's tuition averaged anywhere from $1,500 to $35,000 without giving students actual college credits. As a result, the unaccredited university faced widespread scrutiny and was even sued in 2013 for illegal business practices. While the issue is still ongoing and considered one of the bigger blemishes on Trump's 2016 presidential bid, the actual trial to settle the matter has been scheduled for late November after the election. Leaving the world of fast cars and education, to return to Trump's bread and butter real estate, Donald Trump is also the proud owner of the landmark estate known as Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. Built for Marjorie Merriweather Post in 1927. And later declared National Historic Landmark in 1980 after Post left it to the United States government as a retreat for presidents and visiting dignitaries. Trump eventually purchased the mansion in 1985 for $10 million. He immediately set out to renovate the 17-acre estate and its 58 bedrooms, 33 bathrooms and dozens of amenities. First making headlines in Palm Beach in 1995 and proving his undeniable influence, Trump won his suit against the city and had air traffic redirected to avoid Mar-a-Lago. Over a decade later, he was at it again when his 80-foot flagpole ignited a lawsuit and $1,250 in daily charges for ignoring the city's zoning codes. Eventually dropping the suit and donating $100,000 to local veterans charities, Trump outsmarted the city by moving the flag to a hillside on a shorter pole. With the airport still a problem today, Trump filed suit against the county for $100 million as a result of noise and pollution damages to his estate. Where's the beef? From real estate, money, and politics to fancy cars and reality television, Donald Trump literally has his hands in everything, even when it comes to food. Though much further down on his list of priorities and money makers, thank goodness, Trump is no stranger to fine dining, and thought that a hunk of prime cut red meat with his name on it would sell like wildfire. In 2007, and with high hopes to corner the beef market, Trump partnered up with the Sharper Image to sell a line of frozen steaks through the mail. Marketed as the world's greatest steaks, the Trump Steaks line was, unfortunately, a pipe dream that lasted 2 months before Trump and the Sharper Image pulled the plug. However, according to Trump's stories on the campaign trail, the steaks were a huge success. Whatever the case, Trump has everything from premium vodka and bottled water with his name on it, which just goes to prove that even a name like Trump, honest cow like his, can't sell just anything under the sun. Do you donate to crowdfunding sources? If so, have you ever donated more than just a few dollars at a time? Always working to keep up with the latest trends in business, Donald Trump was intrigued by the crowdfunding concept and, in 2013, decided to join the craze when he took out an ad on fundanything.com. In his ad, Trump promised to give away millions of dollars to his favorite new ideas while promoting the concepts, products and businesses on his widely popular Twitter account. Pretty cool, right? Stepping in as the face of the company to draw attention and attract other investors, Trump actually gave away over $1 million to various crowdfunding campaigns before deciding to end the promotion altogether. Leaving his position as the company's spokesperson and removing his ad after only a year, Trump stepped in as a shareholder and has since taken a backseat role in the company's overall operations. With the site still up and running today, without Trump's face on the home page, we have no doubt Trump is still earning a pretty penny from his brief venture into the crowdfunding world. Nothing says I'm incredibly wealthy like owning a private world-class winery. One of the best-known wineries in the United States, the Kluge Estate, was established in the 1980s by media billionaire John W. Kluge and his wife Patricia, who took over the estate and spent millions transforming the grounds into a winery. Complete with a helicopter landing pad, a private chapel and a 23,000-square-foot mansion, Patricia lost the house in foreclosure just as her family friend, Donald Trump, swooped in and purchased it in 2011 for $6.7 million. Having already purchased the vineyard, winery and the surrounding property, Trump was in negotiations with Bank of America, who purchased the estate in foreclosure for $16 million. Obviously getting one heck of a deal, and paying mere pennies compared to its value. Trump's methods were questioned when he bought the surrounding property and let the weeds grow high to ward off potential buyers. Now in tip-top shape and run by Trump's son Eric, the property is a world-class bed and breakfast known as Albemarle Estate. If owning a winery doesn't scream, "Look at me, I'm rich," then perhaps being a yacht owner does. One of the most famous yachts ever built is a super yacht known as the Kingdom 5KR that clocks in at an astonishing 281 feet, and was once owned by Saudi Arabia's Adnan Khashoggi. When financial troubles struck Khashoggi in the 1980s, Trump made his play for the beautiful vessel in 1988, when he purchased it on a turnaround sale from the Sultan of Brunei for $29 million. Christening his new purchase as Trump Princess, Trump enjoyed the yacht for a few years before facing financial troubles of his own in the 1990s that left him little choice but to cut back on his expenses, making his private airline and the Trump Princess two of the first amenities to go. Trump sold the mega yacht to Al-Walid bin Talal for only $10 million in 1991, but managed to turn his finances around by the end of the decade. Fortunately, Talal still owns the yacht today, but Trump, who can easily afford to buy it back, has set his sights on bigger things like winning the Oval in November 2016. From the Big Apple to Sin City, most people link Donald Trump with New York City, but those who visit or live in Las Vegas are likely to think of Trump there as well. In 2005, Trump broke ground on his newest hotel located at the end of the famous Las Vegas Strip. Originally envisioned as a two-tower luxury hotel, the economic recession in the mid-2000s led to modification of the design that resulted in a single tower stretching 620 feet tall and featuring a hotel, condos and timeshares on its 64 floors. With many of the hotels in Las Vegas doubling as casinos, Trump's hotel is an exception on the Strip, leaving many to believe that the famous billionaire was denied the approval to turn his hotel into a gambling venue. Unfortunately, the rumors are untrue, as Trump presented his state of Nevada gaming license and explained his choice for not including a casino as a result of financial troubles that he experienced during the recession. He is an incredibly savvy investor, after all. Aloha. Traveling much further west than Las Vegas to see Donald Trump's huge footprint on America takes us to the beautiful island town of Honolulu, Hawaii, where Trump started construction on his hotel in 2006. Measuring 350 feet tall and named the Trump International Hotel Waikiki Beach Walk, the hotel and condominium complex is one of the tallest in the state of Hawaii, with the condos estimated to have a total value of $700 million alone. Unsurprisingly, the condos were sold before the property even opened. After 3 years of construction, Trump's Hawaii hotel was completed in 2009 and opened with great anticipation in November the same year. Those interested in purchasing condos are currently placed on a waiting list while undergoing an extensive credit check to ensure potential residents can afford the $1.5 million price tag. While it's unclear how much Trump earns from the property, it's a guarantee that the Trump International Honolulu offers the most relaxing and breathtaking views out of his entire real estate portfolio. Much like every other wealthy businessman, Donald Trump is no exception when it comes to his love of playing a round of golf. The 69-year-old Trump actually loves the game, so much that nearly every estate he has ever purchased, he has either considered, attempted or successfully transformed it into a luxury golf course. Don't believe us? Trump designed a series of golf courses around the world, with a dozen scattered across Scotland and 7 in the United States located in New York, Virginia, New Jersey, Florida, Pennsylvania, North Carolina and Los Angeles. Out of all of Trump's courses, the most popular is the Trump National Golf Club located in sunny Los Angeles. Totaling over $260 million to build, and becoming the most expensive course ever designed, the club opened in 2006 and offers breathtaking coastal views, luscious greens and a state-of-the-art clubhouse with every amenity imaginable. It's estimated the Trump Club pulls in a massive revenue to the tune of $200 million per year thanks to the popularity of the sport and Trump's knack for investing. Did you know that Greenwich, Connecticut is one of the wealthiest cities in the United States? With a population of only 60,000 people, Greenwich is home to hundreds of financially savvy millionaires and billionaires, with only 2.5% of the population living below the poverty line. While this may seem average for a New England town, the median income is over $125,000 per household, with the average net worth climbing to an incredible $930,000 for every Greenwich resident. So what does this have to do with Donald Trump? Taking a brief detour for the next few items on our list, we travel to Trump's gorgeous Greenwich, Connecticut estate. The average net worth makes sense now, doesn't? With our first stop at his private home theater, featuring tiered theater seating for a dozen guests. Trump spared no expense outfitting the room with state-of-the-art technology, from the screen and film projector to the lighting and speakers. And, with his favorite movie being Citizen Kane, we're certain this is one of his favorite places to sit back, relax and enjoy the magic of the silver screen. Grab your flip-flops and towel, it's pool time. Knowing that not everyone is a movie buff, Trump renovated part of his Greenwich estate to include an indoor pool that would allow him and his guests to enjoy a swim even during Connecticut's notoriously cold winters. Located just off of the main house, and featuring a long and narrow design, the pool is perfect for swimming laps, and even features built-in heaters to keep the water nice and warm year-round. Offering breathtaking views of the Connecticut countryside with the comfort of heating and air conditioning, the indoor sauna and changing room cost an upwards of 6 figures to create a space featuring both natural lighting and clean architectural lines that are sure to relax even the world's busiest billionaire and presidential hopeful. If not, Trump can certainly use the room's sound system to listen to his favorite music while swimming laps to work off the junk food from the campaign trail. Now that you've seen the private movie theater and indoor pool, let's take a look at Donald Trump's actual Greenwich estate. Located on a private peninsula in Long Island Sound and stretching across 5.8 acres, Trump and his first wife, Ivana, called the Greenwich Mansion home in the late 1980s, while Ivana redecorated the Plaza Hotel in Manhattan, spending the majority of their time there on weekends with their children. Ivana eventually redecorated the Connecticut getaway in her iconic gold leaf style, leaving the nearly 20,000 square foot estate to Ivana in their 1991 divorce. Trump saw his first mansion leave the family's hands years later, when Ivana sold it to new owners who happily got rid of the gold leaf and gaudy style in exchange for more modern and classic decor. Today, the mansion is back on the market at $54 million and boasts new additions including a tennis court, 3 apartments for staff and a 4,000 square foot guest suite without a hint of gold in sight. For those days when the limo, Rolls-Royce or the chopper won't do, Trump turns to his trusty pilot to navigate the skies in his Boeing 757 private jet. Though resembling a commercial airliner on the outside, the inner cabins of the fondly nicknamed Trump Force One tell an entirely different story of luxury and comfort, completely customized to the billionaire's every fancy. And, as a huge Rolls-Royce fan, Trump used the car manufacturer's jet engines to modify the 757. Purchased in 2011 and renovated to his liking, Trump had glass walls installed behind the cockpit so that he could watch the pilots at any time during the flight. He removed the 239 passenger seats and had luxury seating installed to comfortably fit 40 people, while offering plenty of leg, head and arm room. In the event that Trump is tired and needs a break, he even has his own private bedroom, where he can sneak off and catch a few winks before his next stop. What's a private jet without a private helicopter as well? Valued at over $7 million, Donald Trump purchased a Sikorsky S-76 in 2015 to upgrade his private fleet of helicopters. That's right, we said fleet right parenthesis. Far from your typical helicopter with open doors and a military feel, Trump hired famed aircraft interior designer Eric Rith of New York to update the interior and revamp the outdated look to create a luxurious design that was Trump-worthy. Spending another $750,000 on the renovations, Roth did not disappoint. Resembling a hotel suite covered in his signature gold, Trump made headlines with the chopper in 2015, when he took it to Iowa and offered free rides at the Iowa State Fair on the campaign trail. Immediately criticized for breaking the law by offering free rides on the fairgrounds, Trump, in true character, found a loophole in the rule and parked the helicopter in the parking lot, where he spent the entire day flying around the Iowa skies campaigning and talking with potential voters. With Trump towers scattered across the country in New York, Las Vegas and Honolulu, we couldn't leave out the Trump International Hotel and Tower nestled in the heart of Chicago. Construction started on the hotel and condominium complex in the Windy City in March 2005 and was completed in January 2009 with an $850 million price tag. Designed by Adrian Smith and originally intended to become the tallest building in the world, Trump scaled back the design after the September 11th attacks, leaving the tower to top out at 1,389 feet, taking the title as the fourth tallest building in the United States and featuring 98 floors and over 2.6 million square feet. Chicago's Trump Tower is located on the Chicago River and offers a 339-room hotel in addition to a 5-star restaurant and spa that attract visitors from around the world. With the majority of the condos already sold for an upwards of $3 million, Trump's latest real estate win in the Windy City came in 2014, when the founder of Vistex, Sanjay Shah, purchased the penthouse for a cool $17 million. You're fired. As we've seen with his real estate ventures and crowdfunding deals, Donald Trump knows a trend in business when he sees one, and he certainly saw it in reality television. Joining creator Mark Burnett to co-produce The Apprentice, Trump hosted the show from its debut in 2004 until 2015 with 14 incredible seasons in what became known as the ultimate job interview, featuring a $250,000 grand prize and the opportunity to run one of Trump's prized companies. As co-producer and host of the show, Trump earned quite a bit of money from the series, but has also earned a pretty penny from his trademarked catchphrase, "You're fired." Trump has even created a spin-off with The Celebrity Apprentice, but has had to take a backseat role due to his 2016 presidential campaign. As a result, the newest season will be hosted by bodybuilder, actor, businessman and former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who can't wait to help out his fellow friend. Have you ever dreamt of being rich enough to surround yourself with some of the most beautiful women in the United States? Of course you have. Well, Donald Trump did exactly that when he bought the Miss America and Miss University beauty pageants. Officially started in 1952, Trump purchased the Miss America pageant in 1996 and made a deal with NBC to broadcast the event in 2003. However, after Trump made highly controversial remarks regarding illegal immigrants during his presidential campaign, NBC removed themselves from the partnership completely, with Trump cutting all ties with the event and selling his stake in the pageant. Miss America now belongs to the WME/IMG company, who moved the competition back to Las Vegas and signed a new contract with ABC to air the event through 2019. As for how much Trump made by selling his shares, no one has confirmed the amount, though many believe that he made anywhere from $5 million to an upwards of $25 million. After all, beauty doesn't come cheap. Make America great again. Recognized as one of the richest politicians in American history, Donald Trump claims to have a net worth of over $10 billion in comparison to Forbes reporting his net worth at $4.5 billion. Either way, the billionaire definitely has a leg over on the competition when it comes to funding his presidential campaign, as Bernie Sanders turns to voters for help and Hillary Clinton turns to big businesses, while Trump merely reaches into his endlessly deep pockets, never needing to borrow, beg or steal for his bid for the White House. Trump has paid for the campaign mostly on his own without having to solicit donations. However, that hasn't stopped thousands of voters from supporting the cause and donating their hard-earned cash to his campaign. Though their donations pale in comparison to his $15 million expense so far, we can't imagine just how much his bill will total by the time November comes around. Ending our list with the most famous building ever associated with Donald Trump brings us to the Trump Tower, located in the heart of New York City at 725 Fifth Avenue. With construction starting in 1979, the 58-story skyscraper officially opened in November 1983 as the new headquarters for Trump's illustrious Trump Organization as well as his penthouse. And, while it may not be the tallest building in the Big Apple at 663 feet, it is definitely one of the most recognizable. Known for its famous residents and shops including high-profile names like Bruce Willis and Cristiano Ronaldo, The Trump Tower is currently home to Trump's presidential campaign as well as the Gucci flagship store. It was also the setting for Trump's reality series, The Apprentice, and was featured as the headquarters of Wayne Enterprises in The Dark Knight Rises. Estimated to be worth $320 million a decade ago, Trump Tower is undeniably Trump's favorite investment, and his home away from home.